Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय, पतित पावन गौरानिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की। ओम अज्ञानदेहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते, कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते, गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी, वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचला निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने, बलभद्र सुभद्रभ्यं जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च, पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we'll be reading from SRIMAD BHAGVATAM 1.3.1. So you can put up the shloka. Before we begin, I would like to take blessings of all the senior Vaishnava devotees, especially His Grace Nam Prem Prabhu, and the blessings of all other Vaishnavas, my dear friend Sumit Prabhu, Ankit Prabhu, Devjyoti Prabhu is here. Jai. So, His Grace Damodar going through as well. So it's a great test for me because this is the first time I'm giving some talk in front of His Grace Nam Prem Prabhu. So let's see how it goes, and it's a serious matter because I'm sitting on a Vyasasana. So I really need the blessing so that I could repeat the message very carefully, whatever I have remembered. So basically, I read Srila Prabhupada's lecture transcriptions because directly 1.3.1 was available. And then I went through Radheshyam Prabhu's lecture on 1.1.1. So, and then Chaitan Charan Prabhu also, because he explains really well about the existence of God and what was beginning, all those things. So, let's begin with the recitation of the shloka. I will show the shloka. Okay. Uh, okay. So, Sutta Vacha Jagrihe Paurusham Rupam Bhagwan Mahad Adibhi Sambhutam Sodasha Kalam Adau Lokasi Shikshaya. Sutta Vacha Jagrihe Paurusham Rupam Bhagwan Mahad Adibhi Sambhutam Sodasha Kalam Adau Lokasi Shikshaya. Sutta Vacha Jagrihe Paurusham Rupam Bhagwan Mahadadibhi Sambhutam Sodasha Kalam Adau Lokasya Shikshaya. Jagrihe Paurusham Rupam. So, Srila Prabhupada, he explains very well about this shloka. So he begins with emphasizing on the point that Purusham was the reason behind the creation. He was some scientists claim that some impersonal substance is the cause of the whole creation, at a single point of time, what happened, that Big Bang happened and universe expanded itself, and all this creation has come into existence on that basis. But this is not the true cause. So he's asked from Hayagriva Prabhu about, what do the scientists explain? So they explain two theories currently very prominent in the scientific circle. One is that solid state theory, and another is Big Bang theory. In Big Bang theory, the universe is constantly expanding, and in solid state theory, it remains, in a constant phase, but it regenerates itself. Like destruction is happening, but immediately a regeneration is also happening. So in that way, these two proposals are there, and these are the only two main proposals. So, but what we study from SRIMAD BHAGVATAM is Jagrihe Paurusham Rupam. That Lord Sri Krishna, he took form of Purusha in order to do the creation and maintenance. In the last class, so there are two accounts of origin that I already told. First is that this explosion of matter, which is explained by the scientist. And second one is personal origin. So their vision is till this only. They are not able to explain beyond this. They're not able to explain that, they say that there was a point of infinite density. And how do they make this calculation? At the current point of time, they speak about the way galaxy is organized. They study light and various spectrum of light through spectroscope. And then they calculate, go back in the history, that what would have happened millions of years ago. And in that way, they are tracing the history of creation. And so this itself is not a complete knowledge, I would say, because here they can speak about the point of this creation, when this creation happened. But who created it? That they are not able to explain. But here, very nicely, Srila Prabhupada explains that he quotes one shloka also. Sa aksha sa ashrijata. That means, by his glance he created. So if we see the Goloka chart, I have that also. Okay. Is it visible? Translation. Okay. Yeah, word to word. Suta Uvacha. Suta said, Jagrihe, accepted. Paurusham, plenary portion as the Purusha incarnation. Rupam, form. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Mahad Adibhi, with the ingredients of the material world. Sambhutam, thus there was the creation of. So Dasha Kalam, 16 primary principles. Adav, in the beginning. Loka, the universes. Se Srikshaya, on the intention of creating. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Suta said, in the beginning of the creation, the Lord first expanded Himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was the creation of the 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universes. Purport. The Bhagavad Gita states that the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, maintains these material universes by extending his plenary expansions. So, this Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. The original personality of Godhead, Vasudev, or Lord Krishna, who is famous as the son of King Vasudev or King Nanda, is full with all opulences, all potencies, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. A part of his opulence is manifested as impersonal Brahman, and a part of his opulence is manifested as Paramatma. This Purusha feature of the same personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the original Paramatma manifestation of the Lord. There are three Purusha features in the material creation, and this form, who is known as the Karanodakshai Vishnu, is the first of the three. The others are known as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu and the Shirodakshai Vishnu, which we shall know one after another. The innumerable universes are generated from the skin holes of this Karanodakshai Vishnu, and in each one of the universes, the Lord enters as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also mentioned that the material world is created at certain intervals and then again destroyed. This creation and destruction is done by the supreme will because of the conditioned souls or the Nitya Baddha living beings. The Nitya Baddha or the eternally conditioned souls have the sense of individuality or ahankara, which dictates to them sense enjoyment, which they are unable to have constitutionally. The Lord is the only enjoyer, and all others are enjoyed. The living beings are predominated enjoyers, but the eternally conditioned souls, forgetful of this constitutional position, have strong aspirations to enjoy. The chance to enjoy matter is given to the conditioned souls in the material world, and side by side, they are given the chance to understand their real constitutional position. Those fortunate living entities who catch the truth and surrender unto the lotus feet of Vasudev after many, many births in the material world join the eternally liberated souls, and thus are allowed to enter into the kingdom of Godhead. After this, such fortunate living entities need not come again within the occasional material creation, but those who cannot catch the constitutional truth are again merged into the Mahat Tattva at the time of the annihilation of the material creation. When the creation is again set up, this Mahat Tattva is again let loose. This Mahat Tattva contains all the ingredients of the material manifestations, including the conditioned souls. Primarily, this Mahat Tattva is divided into 16 parts, namely the 5 gross material elements and the 11 working instruments or senses. It is like the cloud in the clear sky. In the spiritual sky, the effulgence of Brahman is spread all around, and the whole system is dazzling in spiritual light. The Mahat Tattva is assembled in some corner of the vast, unlimited spiritual sky, and the part which is thus covered by the Mahat Tattva is called the material sky. This part of the spiritual sky called the Mahat Tattva is only an insignificant portion of the whole material sky, and within this Mahat Tattva there are innumerable universes. All these universes are collectively produced by the Karanodakshai Vishnu, called also the Mahavishnu, who simply throws his glance to impregnate the material sky. So, in this whole purport, I have a presentation which I have prepared. In that we can understand one by one. that what Prabhupada has explained in his purport. And so we were talking about first the creation. So Prabhupada says that, so there is a difference with which what modern science says. Modern science says that there is an impersonal origin, like there a big bang happened and all this creation has come. And this is a very old theory. It's not that it has come recently. It became famous because of Stephen Hawking, but this is a very old theory. And but Prabhupada says that Purusha is the reason. How he is the reason? Let's try to understand. And we need not necessarily, counter this argument of the modern science, because the point is that they say universe is constantly expanding, and we also expect that because the point of infinite density is a single point, and as explained in the purport, the Mahavishnu, there are multiple pores on his body, and from each of the pore the multiple universes coming out, and they are coming out like they are expanding. And we have studied in SRIMAD BHAGVATAM only that after the before the destruction they again contract back and go to Mahavishnu. So Jagrihe Purusham Rupam, Lord takes this form so that he could build the whole material creation and shift the living entities. He impregnates the whole material creation so that we could do two things. One is that we could enjoy this material world. At the very same time, we try to live in a certain way, try to follow his instructions so that we can go back to Godhead. So Paurusham Rupa means a personal plenary, and Lok Shrik Shaya means on the intention or will to create. So universe does not begin from an impersonal chunk of matter, but the personal form the Supreme Being accepts for the purpose of creation. Now these are these are oftenly used terms. Like Lord Krishna, he expands into Lord Balram, and then Balram to Sankarshan, and then 3 Purusha incarnations come from that. Krishna is the origin, we know, and he expands into various forms. These forms, Srila Prabhupada explains that Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam Nadyam Purana Purusham Now Yavanam Cha. Krishna's body is ever fresh. Like he doesn't become old like us. Our body deteriorates and it dwindles and finally it gets destroyed. And these 3 Purushas, they are mainly specifically meant for creating this material world. Then Mahavishnu. So we can look into the Goloka chart once to understand how this is happening. So if you see, this whole thing is spiritual sky. Till this white portion, you see, this whole part is spiritual sky. And in that, spiritual planets are floating around. So when Lord has to, and when you read the Goloka chart, there you will understand what happens is that, so Lord takes the form of Karano Dakshai Vishnu. And this ocean, Karan ocean, is existing. He is lying there and he is breathing in and breathing out. And all the different universes are coming out from him. So this whole Viraja river, you say, he creates so that he could create the whole material universe. And you would see the clouds here on the right and left. So these clouds are actually, they cover the spiritual sky, the spiritual light that Brahma Jyoti is. They cover so that a black portion is formed. That is called Mahat Tattva. And you would see that whole material universe here. A black ring around it. So this signifies, this is Mahat Tattva personified, it says. I couldn't understand the complete meaning of it. But inside Mahat Tattva, rest of the creation happens. like the further three modes of material nature and how they mix with false ego to produce different ingredients. And then in each of the golden universes, you see, Mahavishnu, he expands as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And this is where we are. From Garbhodakshai Vishnu, this whole stem of lotus comes out. And here we are in Bhur Lok, we say. And somewhere Dhanbad is here in this planet. And from here, we are chanting Hare Krishna. This is also very well, diagrammatically explained. The abode of human beings and other mortals. And you'll say this whole Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all the way it goes to spiritual world, Goloka. You see this. You see the thread. It is like a rope we are catching from the spiritual world. And if you see the rope, follow the rope, it ultimately reaches Krishna. So that's why Srila Prabhupada, he mentions this point. You will hear these small clips of Srila Prabhupada where he says that this holy name is a transcendental sound vibration, which, from Golok Vrindavan. So that's why he says that. Because this is from Golok Vrindavan. We may not see this very often, or we may not realize. Every day we are chanting. But the point is, this is a very important thing to understand. And our position, if you see, our position is very small in this whole Goloka chart. Isme we are very insignificant. First of all, you see, Jagadandanatha, a word is used in Brahma Samhita. So there are trillions and trillions of universes that is coming out of Lord's individual pores of body. And in each universe, there are multiple planetary systems, not even planets. Like we have a conception that, 9 planets are there and sun and moon. It doesn't necessarily contradicts the point of Srimad Bhagavatam, because I was listening to Chaitanya Chanpu about this, that so the description of universe that we see, the creation we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, and the modern science, the way it explains it, the modern science is more relevant to the Surya Siddhant scripture. I don't know if you've heard about it or not. Surya Siddhant is basically, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has written a commentary on that. So he followed it also. Based on that only our modern calendar is prepared. So modern science matches with that. And all the descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam in 5th canto, or even all these creations and explanation, they may not match with modern science. But that doesn't mean that their aspect of reality is wrong. Maybe they are looking from a different aspect of reality, and this reality requires a higher level of realization from us. So you have to become an adhikari to understand this knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, to understand the creation. And if you are a adhikari from scientific group, then you can understand that knowledge which is given by them. So that is how we understand. Our insignificant position is very well established. If we imagine this, then we'll understand that who Lord is. And this is what actually Gyan Yoga in Bhakti tradition is all about. Like we try to study the greatness of God. We don't try to, just on the basis of our own senses, we try to speculate who God is and where is his address. All these things, the Mayavadis, they speculate because they don't take these conceptions of God to be real. For them, it's like Brahman is there and Bhagwan comes from the Brahman, and we Jivas also come from Brahman. So they see Bhagwan as, someone in under the modes of material nature, but more powerful than us. And because of that, they do a lot of aparadh also to Lord, that this is mithya and their roop is Maya. So that's why Hare Krishna. So that's why this knowledge of creation is very important. We may think that why Srimad Bhagavatam is focusing so much on creation and all these details. We know Krishna is God and we can worship Him daily. And what is the need for all this? But if you want to, become a good, you have to increase your faith. You want to increase your faith and you want to be a strong devotee, then you should be able to answer all these questions. How your God is great. Even these answers, these questions are not answered in other religions, even Christianity or Islam. If you go to their religion, they don't even know exact names of the Lord. They don't know the address, they don't know the form of the Lord. All they say is ki He's great. God is great. Like Allah means God is great, or Jehovah, or Jesus Christ. They follow Trinity, basically. They don't really understand the meaning of God. And I will share you one experience from my college days. So what happened is that when I was in second or third year, I was connected to Voice, but I would not visit Voice often. At that time, I was discussing this with my Christian friend. He was in, and they would hold this meeting every Wednesday. They had a meeting. Some priest would come and they would do some evening prayer. And he invited me in one of the classes. You come, some talk will happen and they will give you some food as well. So in that talk, the priest was claiming that in our tradition, the absolute truth, the conception of God is absolute. That means He is never changing. So absolute truth means Param Satya. He is never changing. Time doesn't have effect on Him. But in other traditions, you see, he has a Mayavadi conception of Sanatan Dharma. So he says ki, okay, in Hinduism also God takes different forms. He is changing. And even in, he quoted Quran also. I don't know how he understands changing absolute truth in Quran. But the concept of absolute truth itself is not very well explained in any other tradition. The concept of absolute truth is very well established in our Bhakti tradition. All the truths which we see in this universe, they are relative truths. We may say, for example, you can say, this devotee is the best devotee in Dhanbad. Okay. But someone in Kolkata or someone in Delhi, he may not say ki this devotee is the best devotee in Dhanbad. So someone else may be some best devotee in somewhere else. Similarly, if we see the world, the time is right now 8:44. So the time is 8:44. But right now in America or in some other place, the time is different. So the truth is ever changing. Right now here it's cold, but in many other places you would see it's hot. So a truth which is never changing, that is absolute truth, which is true at all times, in all circumstances. So this conception is very well explained here, because the effect of time comes into play only after modes of nature are implemented. And that happens when Lord expands into Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Lord Shiva, he also expands. So you can see, many people have misconception regarding Lord Shiva and, his position. Although it's lot debated, but Prabhupada very well explains that, how when Mahavishnu, he, the difference between Krishna and Shiva is milk and curd. He transforms, basically transforms to support the creation of the material world. So this is very important point for us to understand. So let's move to slide. Okay. Then Prabhupada explains very important point here, that Mahat Tattva is the sum total of energy. जिस तरह से घर में माँ जो है अलग अलग जो सामग्री है उससे रोटी बनाती है ना, so those ingredients are required in order to create chapati. Chapati cannot be made on its own. Chapati has to be made only when someone invests his energy in it, mixes the ingredients. And we were hearing in the lecture some days ago about this whole creation, how Lord is the real cause. He provides the ingredients, he mixes them. That's why those things are happening. So that's what Srila Prabhupada emphasizes. Mahat Tattva is the sum total ingredient with which rest other creation happens. And now, only when the spirit enters into it, this whole material creation changes. So let me just read it. Just as a body grows because the tiny spirit soul, 1/10,000 the tip of the hair is present, the universe itself is activated by the Lord's glance. Without the spirit soul entering into the matter, there is no possibility of creation. Krishna states, Aham bija prada pita, I am the seed giving father. And Lord enters each universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, activating its potential. So we see that, in our body also, the body is changing. It has 6 stages. It will be explained. 6 changes. Birth, then there is growth, then there is maintenance, then byproducts are there, then there is dwindling, and then there is annihilation. Similarly, universe also. At the time of destruction, there is uneven amount of sunlight. Sunlight is bestowed unlimitedly. Take as much sunlight you can take. And this whole, because of that, everything dries up. Everything burns actually. And then there is heavy amount of rain, which completely devours the whole creation. So that is how the whole material creation also happens. That's why this Purusha word is used. Because Purusha, he enters into the material creation, then only these changes happen. Now modern science says ki, okay, this whole creation started at a point of time. But they need to understand the very fact that this creation is happening only because the spirit is present. And they can do a lot of research if they, become open towards the whole philosophy that our tradition is providing. When they open their mind towards this, then they will understand that matter cannot grow on its own. It cannot be changed on its own. Only the spirit is the main cause, which is causing the change in matter. And then Prabhupada explained that whole material creation is this 5 senses, 5 earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then our karmindriya, hands, legs, voice, anus, genitals. Then we have Gyanindriya, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Now what is our position? So let me just read it. The forgetful soul. These souls, forgetful of their constitutional position as servants of the Lord, develop a strong aspiration to enjoy independently. And we have seen it in ourselves only. Like we want to enjoy at all times. Anything which we see, we feel that, okay, this thing is meant for my enjoyment. This person is meant for my enjoyment. This body is meant for my enjoyment. Wherever we go, we think of enjoyment only. Even while, giving classes. So for me, okay, so many people will hear me. So many people will think. There is a subtle, push from behind. Of course, when you come in association with devotees, then we think, okay, this is service. And that's why I asked once, His Grace Namprem Pro, that, Prabhuji, class dene ka purpose kya hota hai and why should we give class? So he explained very well what is the importance of giving class and why we need to be preacher, because Srila Prabhupada wants us to be preachers. And at the very same time, we should be humble, but very confident also. Of course, right now it's difficult for me, but the point is ki the whole program which is fit into our mind is of enjoyment. And that's what we wanted. That's why Lord has sent us. So Radhe Shyam very well explains in 1.1.1 lecture. He says ki Lord has sent you. What he does, why is he creating these various planetary systems? These are various levels of existence. Various planetary systems are actually, just imagine this whole world is university. Okay? This universe is a university. Now, so in university, you have a hostel. Now, everyone doesn't get the same level of rooms and conditioning, mess, all those things. So you live in those hostels, and accordingly you enjoy, because you wanted to enjoy in that way. But at the very same time, Lord has sent scriptures. Lord has sent SRIMAD BHAGVATAM. Lord has sent infinite chain of disciplic succession, which is here to help you, to educate you. So university, so we can imagine in our life also that universe is a university, and all the experiences that we go through, actually it is education only. Lord is providing that education. So I heard this analogy from Chaitanya Chanpu. He was saying that when Arjuna was bewildered on battlefield, Krishna, being an expert teacher, he immediately turned the battlefield into a classroom. He gave a 45-minute class, educated Arjuna so that he became fit for fighting the war. Similarly, we have our seniors who are constantly guiding us. Here we have Damodar going through, Namprem Prabhu, and other seniors as well who are, constantly behind us. He somehow or other, he remains saved. He doesn't go into bad association. He doesn't, leave Krishna consciousness, because they are performing their duty on behalf of Lord. They understand why this parampara exists. This parampara exists as a responsibility on behalf of Lord to take these conditioned soul back to Godhead. If we understand the context also, in last chapter, it ended with this point only, where all these different incarnations taken by Lord are primarily because he wants to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. So His Grace Namprem Prabhu explained how, as a selfless service, Lord is teaching. Although he doesn't need us, but he comes, he takes this incarnation, and see the level of intelligence that is required to just do this creation. So that's why we have to appreciate the greatness of God. He has built a university. He is giving us various experiences also. One is the scripture. You learn from scripture, follow it. But because there is a whole programming that has happened in the past, I will show you one slide that will help us to understand this point. So let's finish this quickly. So there is a sense of individuality, ahankar, I, me and mine, which dictates a desire for personal sense enjoyment. And so we have two opportunity here, dual opportunity. That is, number one, attempt this independent enjoyment, and number second is we be given a chance to understand the real constitutional position and return home. Basically, these are the two things why material creation has been there. But we are in this situation. We are Nitya Baddha. For many years, long time, we are chained by this Kam, Krodha, Lobha. When we catch the rope of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is, hanging down from all directions, you can chant, you can hear, so many devotees are there to remind us to keep on to that rope, keep a hold on to that rope, so that you never leave Krishna consciousness, because these will never go away. we may think ki, I have practiced these many years in Krishna consciousness, and now I don't need any devotee, or I don't need any guidance. Or we think ki, now I have understood, I'm also reading Srimad Bhagavatam, I can also do some research, and I can create some slides, and I can also present well. So these things they happen, but you don't know actually what is acting on you. Your chain is not broken yet. This we have to think till the end of life. Then only we'll remain saved. So our constitutional position is to be a servant. This characteristic is inescapable because we are serving, na? Already we are serving Kam, Krodh, Lobh. We are serving them. And they are pulling from here and there, and we have to follow them. There is no choice. हम बोलते ना प्रभु जी नहीं चाहते हैं तब भी हो जाता है. Without wanting also we perform those acts. And Arjuna also says the same thing. Then Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samudbhava, Krishna answers in the shloka. So that's why this is there, and we are servant of three modes of material nature. We serve our whims, our lust, our anger, our greed, and we are servants of Maya. So the purpose of Krishna consciousness is very simple: to shift our service from this material master to the Supreme Lord Krishna. And then this is very famous. Lot of times, many times Prabhupada quotes it and many speakers quote it. We keep on working hard and hard just for a morsel of grass. And what is that grass for us? We think that no, this position will keep me secure. I will get my food. I will get a protected place to live in. All those, none of the four things. So that's why it is foolishness. And that's why Prabhupada used the word Alpamedhasha and Sumedhasha. That will come later. This analogy, I think, self-explanatory. And the last one is that defining Sanatan Dharma. Because they think ki, okay, you are saying, I am Sanatani. हम भी तो सनातनी है. अरे आप भी सनातनी हो. अरे ये भी सनातनी है. तो सनातनी का definition क्या है? Because many a times, see, you will be, in conflict with many other people who are not from our tradition and who may not understand the terms in which we understand. So the definition of word Sanatana, Hindu, and many other terms which we use, they actually misinterpret, or they have a different conception about it. They have a conception कि सनातन मतलब जी टीका लगा लीजिए, थोड़ा सा मंदिर चले जाइए, हम लोग पूजा पाठ कर लेंगे तो सनातन धर्म के हो गए. They think that. Okay. But what Prabhupada has taught us is different Sanatan Dharma. And while in argument, they misunderstand us. Yare, you are teaching like this, you are sectarian, you are, you are spreading Christianity in the name of Hinduism, you are destroying Hinduism. So Prabhupada mentioned that, the Indians, they will not easily understand in the beginning. They have different kind of notion. But here, very well it is explained, Sanatan Dharma is, it never changes. We are speaking about absolute principle only, universal principles. If we don't use Sanskrit word, no, and if we don't, maybe we are sitting in a different place, in a different atmosphere, in a different setup, which is more relevant to them. They will think, oh, this guy is speaking in such a nice language. Don't speak Sanskrit, speak English and some fancy language. They will think, oh, yes, universal principle, and this guy is speaking nice. But the moment when you, preach in a certain way, we preach the original philosophy, they misunderstand us. Oh, these are Hindu guys. Are Hindu guys, but what they are teaching, you try to understand. These are eternal principles. These are not meant for any particular sect, a particular people in a particular place. So, one is Sanatan Dham and another is Sanatan Dharma. We are teaching these two things. We are telling everyone, come and practice the Sanatan Dharma so that you could go to Sanatan Dham. And this is very famous, Yagya Sakirtana Praya, Yajanti hi Sumedhasha. So, Alpa Medhasha and Sumedasa. So Prabhupada says that those with little brain substance filled with cow dung, they are Alpamedhasa. And Sumedhasa means those with good brains. They will chant, they will do the Harinam, they will do Sankirtan. So this ends here. I would just quickly go through. The time is there. Only 10 minutes I will take, okay? And because it's very important to counter the arguments of the atheist. So very quickly, I will just explain 2 or 3 things, and later on, if you want to go ahead and research, just search, do God exist, and use your research power to understand, and then you can make the slides, or you can just take from me. I will give it to you. But the point is that to understand what atheists are claiming, and you will be preaching to the Gen Zs now, and they have more fancier ways to avoid God. So in order to counter them, to counter every argument that disproves the existence of God, we should have all kinds of understanding. So that's why I went through Google, I went through YouTube, put all the YouTube lectures in one notebook LM, and then found out all the notes, and finally let's see. What are the arguments? They will say, first one is already, even Prabhupada also mentioned that universe cannot come into existence on its own. So matter does not organize itself. And they will say कि सब कुछ ना कहीं से शुरू होता है, कहीं से तो शुरू हुआ है, लेकिन वो शुरू क्या है वो नहीं बता सकते वो. They cannot tell you what is that point. They cannot go beyond it. But we know कि beyond that is God. Then they have another argument. We are just biological beings programmed for survival. Our conscience is not. So they will say ki, okay, because they don't have a purpose of life, and we have a purpose we understand things through purpose. There is a purpose in our existence only. We understood right now. The whole material creation is made because 2 things. We want to enjoy this material world, and we want to go back home, back to Godhead, and Lord has made arrangements for us in this hostel. So there is a clue from morality. If we are animals, we are biological beings, then why would we sacrifice for others? You would see people will give up their survival in order to save other people. You can see this military man in the image. How he is saving another human being? Is he caring for his survival? So survival for the fittest, ये बहुत ज़्यादा use होता है biology में भी. That's why we exist. There is no other purpose. Who put in us the sense of right and wrong, whether we should save or not? Everyone has got their own right and wrong. Where does it come from? God has put us. Clue for meaning. So we have a meaning-seeking mind. This is very special. Okay. So what is explained here is, we have a brain which can understand mathematics, and Lord has created a universe that is mathematical in nature. Now, how can both be possible? If we have no purpose, then we should never be able to study the nature itself. हम mathematics समझ ही क्यों पा रहे हैं? So that's why आप देखना in the beginning only. So these are 3 reasons. From the existence, morality and meaning. ये 3 चीजें हैं जो argument हम दे सकते हैं atheist को. And see, this is our position. This is a message. Suppose someone is he's lost on an isolated island, and there no direction is there. A Morse code is sent to you, which you only can understand. No other person can understand. Can this be a coincidence? Is it without purpose? So that's why Einstein says the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it is comprehensible. हम उसको समझ सकते हैं, हम ब्रह्मांड को समझ सकते हैं. कौन समझ सकता है? हम ही समझ सकते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि ब्रह्मांड जो है उसी भाषा में वो पूरा का पूरा लॉ जो है ब्रह्मांड का वो लिखा गया. And that's why we are able to explain it. So this cannot happen by chance. And one last thing. I think that picture I've lost. The picture was of a reel. Okay. So reel is, so whenever life throws problems at us, we have a frame of reference by which we see things. Okay. So suppose this is one reel, one frame of reference which we are able to see. तो रील आपने देखा होगा जो नेगेटिव होता है पहले यूज होता था एंड इट हैज मल्टीपल ब्लॉक्स ऑन इट. That is our whole lifespan. We are soul, so we have endless lifespan. We have multiple lifetimes. So I remember a statement, we are soul on a multi-lifetime journey of spiritual evolution. मतलब क्या है कि we keep on taking different situations for different span of time. When we are here in this world, whenever something happens to us which is unjust, we start blaming people, we start blaming situation, we start blaming every other thing except for ourselves. Why does that happen? Because we don't really are able to see a bigger picture. A bigger picture means we are not able to see a bigger vision of what the reality is. Many times you would see कि जैसे मेरे पर्सनल लाइफ में भी हुआ है, आई वुड गो टू डिवोटीज एंड take guidance from them. I will talk to Damodar Gunpru, talk to Namprem Pro, and they will explain me things in certain way, and I would say हाँ ये तो मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं था, शायद मैंने ही गलत तरीके से सोचा, and I should move on. The point is our vision is very finite, and to understand that our finite vision is the final vision is the main problem. So Chaitanya Chanpu very often quotes this, कि our finite vision is not the final vision. If we understand this, then we'll understand कि from so many births I have been rotating, moving around in this universe in different forms. What nonsense have I not performed that I have to be here in Kali Yuga? Even after so many years have passed, I'm still here. Suppose even in Kali Yuga also I have my lifespan of 70-80 years. That means in Kali Yuga also I have taken multiple lives. Why I am here? I must have done many aparadhs to devotees, to many people, and because we have a frame of reference which is not taking into account the multiple frame of references in the past, we are stuck here. We just blame devotees, we hurt devotees, and we may blame the situation, we may blame the country, we may blame Narendra Modi, we may blame everything, but we never take our the responsibility on us. So I personally learned so many things after going through all this. If we have a bigger vision, bigger picture, our Lord is very big. Our Lord is so big that we cannot even understand. We are so finite that we cannot never understand infinite. We can understand finite only by the mercy of infinite. When infinite gives us that mercy, then only we'll be able to understand. So that's why we should be very humble in this sense. So from this whole lecture, what we understand, my God is very great. Krishna is very great, very great. and only by His mercy only I'll be able to go back home, back to Godhead. He has sent me devotees. He has sent me scriptures. He has sent prasadam. He has given everything. All we need to do is we have to accept without hurting devotees, without doing aparat to them, or and continuously chant the holy name. So we have to hold the rope and continuously chant the holy names and not leave devotees. Then we'll go back home, back to God. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Please forgive me. I think I made a lot of mistakes, but this was my first time in front of His Grace Nam Premtu. So I will try to improve. And please correct me if any discussion or question you want to have. The time is already up, so if anyone wants to go, they can go. But if anyone wants to discuss these topics, then we can. Any comments? Any?
Hare Krishna. So, very innovative and a wonderful presentation. I would like to thank you very much for taking this service very seriously. Actually, I expect all devotees who are sitting there and giving session or class on SRIMAD BHAGVATAM, they should take this service very, very seriously. How it is clearly visible that Vikas Prabhu has invested his valuable time in preparing the presentations and understanding the subject matter in a proper context and being very genuine and honest with his service of presenting Srimad Bhagavatam in a way Srila Prabhupada wanted us to present. All the devotees presenting Srimad Bhagavatam, if takes the service in this spirit, just by hearing this 1.5 hour of class every day in the morning, can make us so much Krishna conscious, and it can improve us so much you can't believe. Little if everyone sincerely contributes. So from last 1 hour I'm seeing that how Vikas Prabhu has really prepared very well. It gives a lot of pain when somebody sits there without any preparation and just do some reading and explanation. It's okay, you are doing a service, but please put your heart the way Vikas Prabhu has done. It's very inspiring. Vikas Prabhu, can you please teach us how do you make all these slides with such an animations and such a diagrammatic presentation? It appears as if I start doing this, it will take a lot of time.
For everyone, it is very easy now because I don't know how many of you are using Notebook LM. Like you are using.
This is only in this
No. This is available for
every laptop.
Yes.
Anywhere. So you just write the concept and they will make the slides.
Yeah, you just put on the sources. Like you have YouTube lectures. You take out the links, put them in, and if you have any other text source, any source, PDF, any other file, you put all of them inside this, and then